So how did I get here? This was 2 years ago. My indictment for misuse of official information, May 28th of 21. Then there as a public servant, namely a social worker, for the agency with intent to harm another used for non-governmental purpose. You can read on as goes on. I have a second charge also, which is kind of like this one, but it's for stalking. I'm not going to show it because it has the actual quote-unquote victims in it. And here is my when I took the plea deal for probation that I turned down 3 times. While I've been on probation, I've gotten my master's. I went back to get my master's. Yes, it's interdisciplinary studies with a concentration in educational psychology. And how did I get here? I worked for an agency north of here in a town, as you saw, Cook County. Sorry for if there's any blurs on my phone. I don't have the best phone. But how did I get from a no record at all, not even traffic tickets, to 2 third-degree felonies? Yes, it's right there. So I basically worked for an agency north of here up in Cook County, or as I call it, Cook County. My title was not social worker, even though that's what the indictment and it has in my discovery says. I was a facilitator. Basically, I was the one who provided services to families and mostly the kids and adolescents on my caseload. This particular incident happened when they divulged to me that they were in the middle of a CPS investigation already, and for using locks on the outside of their door, the kids' doors. They had 3 or 4 kids of their own and 3 or 4 foster kids. They were siblings. And one apparently has, problems running away. And I spoke to the child's teacher at school. They said that they've been having problems with this family for many years. When their own kids were in school, they'd be sent to school with no shoes and socks on, that kind of thing. Their lunch one day or today, whatever they didn't eat would be the leftovers for the next day. The leftovers would be the next day's following lunch. I had a family meeting with them where they divulged to me and the caseworker of one incident over the weekend where they had to chain the child to a tree to keep him from running away because he didn't, quote unquote, want to help work on the fence and do yard work. These were not very good people. I myself was raised in the system. I was adopted twice. So therefore, hence the reason I don't have any family. I have a very few close friends. Most of my friends are in Florida. Anyway, I have one good friend here that helps me out, does what they can, but I've been on probation now 2 years. I've been in compliance ever since. But ever since Christmas, things have gone downhill. I lost one of my means of support. I'm 49 years old, so it's not like I can go out and get a construction job doing hard labor work. I had a bad back. I have a few job interviews lined up, and nothing really set in stone as far as any offers. I'm also facing eviction. I have that paperwork around here somewhere. But so therefore, a reason I went on and made a GoFundMe account, which a few has donated so far, and not asking, for an arm and a leg. I'm very thankful for the small donations as I am the larger $100 ones that I've gotten already. If you have difficulty hearing me, or I'm not going to show my face because most people will go on looks or, oh, he has a speech impediment. Well, I do and I don't. I was born deaf in my left ear and regained that hearing when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Big deal. More people will look at that than what's actually going on here that led me to this, which was speaking out against a child who was, in my opinion, was being abused. The stalking charge came about because I posted what they did on their church's Facebook page, but I did not mention any names. Just what a member of their quote-unquote congregation did. Soon come to find out they heavily finance a campus of churches here in the North Dallas area, in Frisco and Plano. So it's not too hard to figure out what's going on here, even though, yes, it's been a few years. But I've just been scared to speak out. Things were going good for me, and so now I'm needing and asking for, assistance because of this temporary problem. It's not permanent. It's very fixable. I'm just needing a hand up. So any donations would be highly appreciated, as a few have already made. Also, I'm not excusing what I did. I can kind of understand the misuse of official information charge for putting the information out there. The reason I did was because the sheriff's office said that that was not abuse and that there was no abuse found, even though they did talk to the parents and the child and they admitted to everything. The school also had a video where the same child was chained to the stairwell inside the home. And when I found that out, that is probably the main reason I did what I did as far as putting the information out there. And I got stalking because they said I put it out there more than once. So, and I never even met these people in person. All the family meetings were going on during COVID, and the meetings were taking place via Zoom. They also gave me a $5,000 fine, which I'm behind on also, that I've been paying $100 a month on. But they do work with me on that, so I'm not asking money for my fines. I'm going to use that for my little part-time work I do have. The assistance is going to be used towards housing. So some people may ask, well, why don't you, don't you have friends or blah, blah, blah. No, I do, but I don't. Um, Not to where I can go stay with them. Like I said, a lot of my friends are in Florida. So that is what landed me here. But I did go on and complete my master's in the middle of probation. I have approximately I'm 2 years into it. I have another 3 years. So that is where I'm at. Thank you for Alex and team for agreeing to, one, thank you for what y'all do anyway. Y'all really do go after the sickest of the sick. Y'all do really, y'all really do. I know I don't want to use the word victims, but a lot of us survivors are really appreciative of what you do. Your approach to any is top notch. Thank you for letting me do this and putting this exposure out there. And exposure means just as much as any donation does. So thanks again.